What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the DX Gamer Show. I'm Operation DX, and today we're going to be taking a look at Alpha 6 of 7 Days to Die. I noticed that there's a couple of additions in the options menu. This may not be exclusive to Alpha 6, but there are a few more options, such as not allowing these zombies to run at night, and a few more. Definitely nice touches if you want to have a kind of more relaxed game and not so crazy nighttime in 7 Days to Die. New to Alpha 6 is this brand new snow biome, including some new friends to play with, as we've got a couple of new monsters. In fact, the changelog for Alpha 6 is rather extensive. Before we take a look at some of the more interesting features of Alpha 6 for 7 Days to Die, let's take a look at a couple of more of these ice creatures, as there seems to be about 4 of them. There may be more, but from what I've seen, there's about 4 new monsters, so they're pretty tough too. They can take a couple shots to the head with a pistol, unlike some of the other zombies that can only take 1. And the zombie dogs seem to spawn a little more. I don't know if that's new to Alpha 6 either, but they are vicious. So, according to the changelog, the map in 7 Days to Die has gotten about 33% bigger, although I'm still really interested in seeing the randomly generated area they talked about during their Kickstarter campaign. That's one of the things I would definitely like to see. Just a kind of a new thing every time I come into the game. That would make a nice mix-up for this game. However, they've added a bunch of new areas, including this military camp that is surrounded by mines. Now, you're supposed to be able to go in here and open some boxes and get a few more guns and ammo than you normally would in some of the other areas. So let's go ahead and see this zombie. Oh, he eats that mine, and holy crap, he survives. That's one tough zombie there, that is for sure, as he walked directly over their mine and survived. But yeah, this is a nice, cool little place. You can find some good stuff as you're adventuring through, or if you decide to actually attempt to fortify this location. But the zombies seem like they're spawning in a little thicker than they have before. Again, I don't know if this is new to Alpha 6, but some of the effects around certain areas are looking a little better. I particularly thought this part was pretty awesome looking, as it's starting to become a little later in the day, and the dusk hazy effects look quite good. Here's another new location on the map called Gravetown, and there is a bunch of interesting looking decrepit buildings, and this is also kind of a nice place if you want to try to hold out or even build a base in this location, as it has a lot of interesting scenery. This is one of several new locations on the map. I didn't explore them all, so we're not really going to see them in this look of Alpha 6, but there are several new locations to check out, as, like I said, the map is 33% better, or better, 33% bigger according to the changelog. One of the big changes in Alpha 6 is the new forging system, and I feel it's a step in the right direction. In fact, I would like to see even more of this kind of stuff. So now you can't just go and dig in the ground and just craft your iron bars out of raw iron anymore. You have to melt it down into bars. In order to do that, you're going to need to make clay molds. There's several different ways to get clay. You can go to the lakes and try to get it from the ground, or you can use cornmeal and use a little bit of water and turn it into clay. From which point you can start crafting some basic molds. Iron, lead, copper, brass. There are a bunch of new ones, and I actually don't know all of the different combinations that you can make. So what you need to do is put your mold into the forge. You need to put the raw metal type that you want to fill that mold with, and then you need something to light the forge with, whether it be sticks, raw coal, or wood. And that's how you pretty much melt your raw materials down and smith them into bars. And digging down using your pickaxe and finding the raw ore usually yields you a little more than, say, if you scrapped some material you found in the world. after you're done crafting your bars, it's pretty much how you're used to it in 7 Days to Die, using the sticks and the bars to create your axes and pickaxes and that sort of thing. But that's not all. They've added a lot more craftable items, including guns and bullets, which are a huge, huge thing, and I think that it's awesome. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at that in just a second here. There are several different ways to get the raw materials for your bullet. You can actually find the materials in the world, or you can break them down in your crafting menu for the raw parts, and then you need to create molds of each of those parts, except for, of course, gunpowder, which we already know how to make from the previous game. And then once you've created your mold, you pretty much put that back into the forge, find the appropriate metal that particular part needs, melt it down, and then you have a lot more of the basic material to make a bunch of different bullets. Of course, zombies get in my way there, so I'm just going to kind of show you what I just talked about. So we're sticking our bullet tip mold in there, and then our wood for our heat, and then we need to find the appropriate raw material, but I need to shoot the zombie before she gets up on me and starts killing me. Alright, let's go ahead and try that again. So we're going to put our raw iron in there, and then it's going to go ahead and produce a whole bunch of bullet tips there. So that's kind of how it works, and it's a very, very cool new feature in 7 Days to Die, but like I said, that is not all. So in order to craft your bullet, you usually need the casing, the bullet tip, the gunpowder, and bam, we just created a 9mm round for our pistol. But we can now also build weapons. So what you can do is you can put your weapon of choice into the crafting menu and break it down. Of course, you're probably going to need 3 of them to get all 3 parts of the weapon. So we're breaking down the MP5 here and getting all the parts. So we need to make molds of all these parts. So let's go ahead and just pick one and do that. So usually you just make the mold out of clay in a U shape, put the particular part you want to make a mold of, and there we go. We have pretty much all the parts here, so we're just going to make them really quick. So here's the receiver mold, and then we got to make one more for the stock mold. Let's go ahead and put that in there. So you're going to start running out of space. You're going to need to put some storage trunks down in your main base area when you start crafting all this stuff, because there's a bunch of different weapons and bullets that you can make. And then, of course, same routine here for making other parts. Just put it in the forge, find the appropriate metal, heat the forge, and then in a few seconds you'll have your part, and then you can start assembling your guns. So I'll just show you an example of that. So we put a lead ingot in there. We're just going to pull that out. We only need one for each part. And then we're going to go ahead and assemble our gun. Of course, I do it incorrectly at first, but I'm going to get it figured out in just a second. Like, yeah, oh, that's backwards. There we go, a fresh MP5, and that is how it works. Very cool new system in 7 Days to Die. I like the direction this game's going. Alpha 6 is a big update, and they still have a lot of planned stuff for future updates for 7 Days to Die, and I can't wait to see them. So to wrap things up here, I'm going to go ahead and create a bullet specifically for the MP5, but I had put my bullet casings in another box. There we go. We got all the materials we need: bullet tips, gunpowder, and the casings. And then here is the blueprint, which we haven't unlocked yet, so go ahead and put that in. It just requires 2 pieces of gunpowder, 1 casing, and 1 bullet tip. And there we go. There's our 10mm bullet. We'll go ahead and reload our MP5. And oh, yeah, that's another thing. They changed the way bullet mechanics work. So instead of clips now, it works on bullets. And there we go. That's pretty much it. This has been my look of Alpha 6 of 7 Days to Die. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Take care.